Hey everybody, welcome back to HTML web design. What we're going to talk today is we're going to talk about block tags versus inline tags. Now we've been learning about tags for a little bit. We're learning about how the page is structured, and we started formatting some of our text in there. But one thing I want to point out is that there is something called block elements and inline elements in HTML. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is that a block element will take up a whole horizontal row or horizontal area of a page and then push content above or below away from that content. So it'll create space. Now, what we're going to do today is I'm going to demonstrate this, and I'm going to start a basic HTML page, and I'm going to put in some block elements and some inline elements so we can discuss the difference. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm working in CodePen. I got a new pen open, and I'm going to start from the very beginning. The very beginning is the HTML boilerplate. So I'm just going to type in HTML:5 and then hit tab. And then I get my full boilerplate. Again, that's HTML:5 and then hit tab on your keyboard and you get a whole boilerplate. I would recommend doing this every time. It really saves time, and it gets you all the HTML that you need to start a basic page. For my title, I'm just going to put in block versus inline, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start putting in some elements that are considered block level. So block level elements inside the body would be considered H1. Okay, I'm just going to type in H1, hit tab. That'll give you the two tags. And then here I'm just going to put in, this is a headline. Okay. If I could spell headline right. Then down below, I'm going to go ahead and put in a P tag. Okay. And all I did to do that was hit P, type in P and hit tab, and I get a set of P tags. After that, this is going to be my first paragraph. Okay. And down below, I'm going to put another tag in there. I'm going to put an H3, and this will be a sub headline. Okay. Now, all three of these things you'll notice has space above and below them in the page. This is my page over here. See it real quick. Nuts. So this right here is a headline, and you can see that the content that comes after it, the paragraph, gets pushed below. Okay. So this headline right here, really takes up this whole line. It takes up this whole line up here. And this paragraph right here obviously takes up this whole line too. And then the subheadline, okay, right here, this H3, takes up the whole line as well. So any content that comes after the H3, even if I put in just random text like that, it'll show up below this subheadline. Okay, so even if it's not in paragraph tags, it'll still show up below because this H3 is a block element and is pushing it down below. One thing that I can prove that all three of these are block elements is that if I style them. Okay, for example, I'm going to style my H1 with a quick background color. Okay, I'm going to call it light blue. Okay. And you'll see that my H1, you can see that the color extends all the way to the side of the page. So that means that this H1 right here is a block element. It's taking up a whole block space of my page. And I can do the same thing if I wanted to with my P and my H3 tag as well. You can see that all three of these turn into block elements. That means the color pushes all the way to the side. So this is what we consider a block element. And some examples of block elements are up here. If you look in W3 schools, there's address, article, aside, canvas, div, field set, footer, form, H1 through H6, which we're messing around with now, P, nav, UL. There's a whole bunch of these in here that are considered block level elements. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about, okay, we know how to create a block level element, but what happens if we want to use something called an inline style or an inline element? I'm sorry, inline element. That inline element will actually not create a space above and below, and that inline element can function inside or outside of that block level element. So for example, let's say that I want sub headline right here to be italic, okay? Like I want it to be slanted, all right? I can actually put in what's called an EM tag, and this EM tag right here is considered an inline element. And the reason it's considered an inline element is because it goes inside the line right here. Okay, it goes inside this block level element, and you can see here that now subheadline, just that subheadline text is italicized. This text over here is not italicized, so therefore H3 is just normal over here, and then the subheadline is italics right here. Now you'll notice though that I've closed my EM tag before the ending tag of H3. Now what's happening here is that I'm using a property called nesting. I want to make sure that this EM tag is nested correctly inside this H3, because you think about it this way. The EM tag starts before the ending of the H3 tag, so therefore the ending of the EM tag has to go inside that area right there. And that's what we call nesting. All right, so let's say, for example, I want first paragraph in this paragraph right here to be bold. Okay, I can do that. I can put in a tag called strong, and then I can do a slash strong tag right there. And that would be the correct way to put in an inline tag of strong, so that my first paragraph text right here is bold, and this is my text right here is not. So you can see up here in my result, I have this is my first paragraph is bold, okay, and I have the strong tag here and the slash strong tag over here, okay. And this will be helpful later on, this structure, because later on we're going to get into links, we're going to get into images, and we kind of have to understand how images and how links and other HTML content can be put inside paragraphs or headlines or, you know, lists or other such. We have to understand this concept of nesting and the concept of inline versus block. So again, I can actually style a lot of this. I can go ahead and put in my P tag again, and let's say right now I want to have P tag background, if I can spell background right, background color colon, let's say light blue, okay. And now my paragraph is blue, but let's say that I wanted to style my strong tag as well. I can actually style my strong tag, and I can put in a background dash color colon pink. All right. And what'll happen is that now first paragraph is not only bold, but it's also pink. And it goes to show that the P tag still continues off to the edge, where the background color of strong only survives or only lasts from, you know, the beginning and ending of where I put the tags. Okay. So again, this is a good example of how this works. So down below, if I wanted to style EM, I can put in background dash color colon light green, like that, and you'll see up here subheadline is subheadline is not only italics with the EM tag, but it's also now light green with the styling. So again, you can see how it begins and ends right then and there. Now, later on when we get into links, this will be a useful technique, a useful concept for creating links in certain pages. Okay, so I hope that clarified the difference between block versus inline. Just remember that there are a list of tags that are considered block elements. They're right here in W3 schools. I'll put the link into the code pen as a comment. And then there's also a list of inline elements in here as well. And you can see here we were using EM and we were using strong. Okay, so again, I hope this clears some of this up, you know, and we'll continue later on. All right, thanks guys.